Welcome to another presentation from the Filmmakers Legal Clinic at Cardozo Law School. The Filmmakers Legal Clinic provides free legal services to filmmakers and video journalists who are seeking to move the social justice needle. We also provide educational programs and trainings for our industry partners. If you are interested in becoming a client or partnering with us, please contact us. Today's presentation focuses on errors and omissions, or E&O insurance. After an introduction and overview of E&O insurance, I will provide some information on obtaining an E&O insurance policy, the costs and coverage associated therewith, and some tips and next steps for getting started. We will begin with a brief introduction. Understanding the legal and insurance requirements needed to protect a film is an essential part of filmmaking. Errors and omissions, or E&O production insurance, provides protection to a project and is often a requirement for the acquisition and/or distribution of a film. E&O insurance is a type of insurance policy that protects a film from claims of unauthorized use related to the intellectual property depicted in the film, such as copyright and/or trademark infringement relating to titles, formats and plots, characters and ideas, the right of publicity, music, and any other third-party materials, such as video, brands and logos, sounds, etc. Additionally, E&O insurance protects against other potential claims against a film relating to libel, slander and defamation, privacy, breach of contract, property damage, and on-set injury. E&O insurance protects filmmakers against having to bear the costs of defending a potential claim brought by a third party and paying out a judgment. Most distribution companies, broadcasters, and exhibitors require production companies or filmmakers to have E&O policies in place before they will purchase, distribute, or exhibit a film. Additionally, production financing will usually not flow until E&O coverage is in force. Obtaining a policy. The process of obtaining an E&O policy is similar to obtaining an insurance policy for a car or a home. Filmmakers typically work with insurance brokers who submit applications to insurance carriers. To be sure that you are getting the best possible policy and price, it is advisable to contact multiple insurance carriers for quotes before purchasing a policy. The process of obtaining E&O insurance requires several steps, including completing an application, obtaining a title report or opinion letter, and obtaining a clearance report. On an application, filmmakers should expect to thoroughly disclose the nature of the project, including the title of the film, the names of key cast and crew, the production location and distribution regions, the film's length, the type and genre of the film, the size of the film crew, the estimated gross production budget and revenues for the production, the time frame and setting of the film, and a description of the storyline. You can also expect to provide your name, address, phone number, income, production company contact information, and whether or not you are acting on behalf of a business entity like an LLC. In order to assert that you did your due diligence, insurance carriers will typically require filmmakers to comply with clearance procedures as part of the application process. This clearance procedure is often satisfied by providing documentation of things like a title report and opinion, chain of title to the screenplay, copies of all contracts and agreements related to the film, including location and personal appearance releases, intellectual property clearance reports for all third-party materials used in the film, and corresponding proof that all the intellectual property in the film, such as music, has been properly licensed or clearly falls under fair use. A title opinion is a document typically drafted by an attorney who has reviewed a title report prepared for the producer. In the letter, the attorney will express their opinion regarding the level of risk involved in the use of the film's title, and declare whether or not they think it is wise to proceed with the given title from a legal standpoint. Many E&O carriers and distributors require an attorney to review your title report and draft this opinion. A clearance report is produced as a result of identifying all of the items that represent possible legal conflicts if used as is within a film's script. This includes character and business names, product and organization names, locations, artwork, music, and use of other copyright or trademark protected materials. The amount and structure of the E&O policy is unique to every film. Independent filmmakers producing feature-length films typically get coverage of $1 million per claim and $3 million in the aggregate. This is not the cost of the policy, but the maximum amount of money the insurance company would be obligated to pay should any covered legal problems arise. Now we will discuss the costs associated with an E&O insurance policy. Obtaining E&O insurance can be costly for independent filmmakers with limited budgets. The cost of an E&O policy will vary depending on the nature of the project and, more importantly, the amount of potential liability and other legal issues that a film may have. For a feature-length independent film that has all the proper documentation, such as licenses, clearance reports, and a proper chain of title, an E&O policy may cost anywhere from $2,000 to $15,000 to obtain. The price will depend on the size and nature of the production and the potential for legal claims. Therefore, it is essential that filmmakers shop for the best price before purchasing an E&O policy. Now we will discuss the types of coverage associated with E&O insurance. Distributors will often designate the limits, deductibles, and policy terms of the E&O policy depending on the distribution agreement. E&O insurance policies have limits for coverage that are primarily broken down in two ways. First, the limit per claim, which refers to the maximum amount the insurance company will pay per claim. Second, in the aggregate, which refers to the total policy limit that will be paid on all claims during the entirety of the policy. The industry standard is a $1 million limit per claim and $3 million limit in the aggregate. A deductible, a term you may have encountered with other insurance policies, is the amount of money one must pay toward a claim before insurance benefits kick in. If an E&O lawsuit costs a total of $50,000, for example, and your deductible is $5,000, the insurance policy will cover $45,000 after you have paid the $5,000 deductible. There are two types of deductibles in most E&O policies. First, the first dollar defense deductible, which applies only to actual paid claims. The insurer does not have to pay anything until the claim is settled or a judgment is reached. Second, the defense and loss deductible, which applies the deductible to the defense costs in addition to the paid claims. The standard policy term or duration of the policy is typically 1 to 3 years. 3 years is typically a safe option if filmmakers are planning to secure alternative distribution deals. Here are some tips for getting started. To obtain an E&O policy, filmmakers should review quotes from several insurance providers to find the most suitable policy and price point. On this slide is a short list of potential E&O brokers and their contact information. However, please be aware that the Filmmakers Legal Clinic is in no way advocating, sponsoring, or endorsing these insurance providers. The Filmmakers Legal Clinic does not work with these brokers and is providing this list for informational purposes only. The Filmmakers Legal Clinic can assist you in every step of the E&O process and can review all documents before they are submitted to brokers or carriers. In addition, because some documents, such as an intellectual property clearance report, will require attorney approval, the Filmmakers Legal Clinic can assist you with this as well. The Filmmakers Legal Clinic is housed at Cardozo School of Law's Center for Visual Advocacy and sits at the intersection of film, law, and social justice. The clinic provides free transactional, intellectual property, and First Amendment legal services to independent filmmakers whose work encourages and accelerates social change. Thank you for watching. You can send us an email at filmmakerslegalclinic@yu.edu or apply as a client on our website at filmmakerslegalclinic.org.